Three sisters,
one mic.
Zero filter. Welcome to our podcast. If you're new here, we are three sisters in Sydney who talk a lot, think deeply, laugh a lot, and argue even more.
hang on, who argues? Not me.
And every week we unpack life and the conversations you generally have over a margarita or chai.
Or a few margaritas is what I was going to say. So today we're starting strong. We'll talk about the very deep topic, choices.
So grab your drink of choice, chai, coffee, or sparkling water, and let's get onto it.
Hang on, what happened to wine?
Or cocktails. There you go. Choices. Though I have to say it's early in the morning. I don't think wine and cocktails is a choice of drink for now.
Oh, what happened to mimosas?
Well, so it is choices, which can refer to so many things. Career, behavior, partners, reacting to people at every point. We're faced with choices big or small. Minuscule choices on a daily basis. What will you have for breakfast? Coffee and croissant or avocado and gluten-free toast?
Oh my God, coffee and croissant for me, please.
Well, or both.
Both. Neha. My question to you guys is, what's the biggest choice you've ever made?
Ever? Oh my God, there's no one biggest choice. I've made several huge choices this far. You don't really want to open that can of worms, do you?
Maybe not.
Yeah, and there's several choices I've had to make, or if I didn't, then were made for me, that have really shaped my life and career and personal life as such.
Yeah, sometimes you actually don't like the options that are available, but that doesn't really mean there wasn't a choice. They may be poor choices, but sometimes you don't have a choice in the choices.
Well, if you're not making a choice, you're still choosing.
That's true.
Yeah, true, I suppose. But I think the biggest lie we tell ourselves is, I had no choice. I don't think that's true.
I actually don't agree with you on this one. I think sometimes you don't have the luxury of a choice. There are exceptional circumstances, I agree, when you're born in certain parts of the world. You don't
Or when you're stuck in certain parts of the world for some.
Yes, stuck in certain situations, or when you're sort of faced with really difficult choices where you just can't. I'll give you an example. Somebody once asked me this terrible, horrible question, where if we were on a lifeboat and you had your husband, children, parents,
Oh my God.
and you had to throw out one person off that lifeboat.
I'll
Who
actually
would it
stop
be?
at that.
Who would it be? Okay, who's going to answer that question?
Oh, don't ask me, because I know who I would throw in for all the wrong reasons.
Yes. Yeah, we're not asking you to choose. Well, on your boat, there would be children, parents, your lovely sisters.
I would throw my sisters for sure any day.
Oh my God, before that, we throw you.
Well, she's off the podcast from now. Then.
That's it. Neha.
Oh my
What's
God, you're putting her on the spot.
That question was
Seriously?
never asked of me, so I'm not going to answer
I'll
that
tell
one.
you, one of my friends was actually asked that question by her husband. And it was not thrown off the boat. He asked her, and this is a true story, okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely true story. And he said, if it was me or was it the other way around? The wife asked the husband. Anyway, if there was a fire in the building and I was stuck there with you and your mother, who would you save? And he actually said, I'd save my mother, but he's a very logical person. He said it's because she got offended, but he said, it's because I know you are nimble enough, you'll run out or you'll find a way to do it. She's slow. I have to save her or she'd die.
Okay. Wrong answer though.
Oh my God,
B,
that is
are they
funny.
still married?
Yeah.
Happily so, yes.
Yeah, well, so as I was saying, sometimes you don't have the luxury of a choice. And, there are people, war-torn countries, people don't have the choice to have an education, to have...
Yeah, that's true. I suppose if you look at it that way, yeah, I do agree,
Yeah.
but I wasn't clearly thinking that deep.
Yeah, those are very those are big decisions and big
Yeah,
choices.
I thought we were talking about daily decisions, and
Yeah, you know how I always talk about sliding doors? That's
Yeah.
like sort of my thing, sliding doors, because I actually believe in that. There was this really old movie with Gwyneth Paltrow
Yeah.
in it, and there are always choices to make. It says, and life turns out differently with each choice that you pick. Little things like what time your train is. If you miss the train, what happens? And what would or what could have happened if you did not miss the train? And sometimes the final outcome eventually ends up being the same or similar, but the route to get there might be different. So who knows? The choices you make, whether it leads you to the same thing and whether the hardships are less or more.
yeah, that's true. It's actually it's reminding me of a game that my daughters play. It's called Game of Life, and it's actually got two parts to choose. So every time you throw a dice, it gives you a number, and it's got two parts that you can take, and it takes you to the end result. Choices of have kids and stay home or something like. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's choices.
That is, I love that
that's-
game.
Yeah, same
I
here.
I've
absolutely
never
love that.
played it.
Oh, we
come I not-
should.
Yes.
You can have my girls and have a game night with them.
Yes, I think that would be great.
Well, I'll have a date
I
night
miss-
with my husband. Thank you.
So the boys and I have been playing that since they were little. We even have the card version.
Is it? Oh my God, I've missed out on so much.
It's a fun game. Yeah.
Actually, our family was never a board game sort of family. So,
Yeah, you were sport people. You
yes,
still are.
Always.
We chose not to play board games.
Yes, we chose not to play board games. We chose to be outdoors or in front of the TV.
True.
But look, everyone makes these huge choices about relationships, marriage, career, children, to have them or not. I know what my son said once. He said, I'm not going to have children. I don't want to bring up somebody like me.
Oh my God.
I bet he was 4 then, was he?
I think about 10.
Yeah. Career over children or vice versa is a big one. I think that's a choice that a lot of women mostly have to make. I'll just say women because I think truly of that. But yeah, that's a choice that a
So-
lot of friends have had to make.
So that's one thing where sometimes that is not a choice. That's one example of career over children. I mean, I know I picked to look after children and I gave up my career. Absolutely zero regrets. But I know of many people who don't actually have that choice.
Yeah, that is true. Although, and also going back to Neha, what she said about it's generally women, yes, but there are some men who do that too. You remember that guy who?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. And he happily gave up his career as a teacher.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I'm not taking names here because we don't know whether they want it said out loud or not. But he gave up his career. He was a great teacher, but he used that, and he was a teacher to all our children. He would run these games. It was so fun. And his wife had a roaring career, and she did really well. And she enjoyed the fact that he had the kids. And then afterwards, you know what happened? Several years later, they moved back to the UK,
Yeah.
and both picked up their careers.
Oh wow,
That's
really?
amazing. Well, and look, when I said mostly women, I know that there are a lot of men or dads or partners out there who would pick being a carer, but I don't know, by virtue of just, I think that's how the world primarily operates. They have just
I
taken
just
that
think you're
path.
sexist. That's what you are.
Not anymore,
Never.
Only last week, my colleague said to me, he said,
Yeah.
if I have a choice now, I would really want to be a stay-home dad.
Yeah.
I was really surprised
Yeah.
because he's very
Yeah.
focused. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't really know that about you.
But that's what I'm saying, that if he had a choice, he's saying he doesn't have a choice, that he has to work because he's the male.
No, he
versus-
didn't. He didn't say he doesn't have a choice. He just said that the situation right now is he can choose to do that.
Yeah. Oh. There you go.
That's nice. Although I must say, I'd be bored out of my brains if I were just
Really?
at home. Yeah. But we are different like that. We know
Why you
that.
just do the podcast and look after other people's children? Why can't you do that?
Yeah, that's what I should do. Give up my
Who needs
day
to make
job.
money?
Yes. And we've already spoken about there are always big choices, relationships, career, children, all of that. But I feel I want to talk a little bit about the small choices we make daily because I think they are the biggest game changer anyway, in my opinion. I think that they can move the needle without overwhelm. And those of you who know me know that overwhelm is a bit of an issue for me.
For most of us, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, more so for her than anyone else.
Yeah, true.
It's okay.
But we obsess over the big ones, you're right. But our life direction is generally shaped more by our daily habits.
That's true. One of the habits that I would dearly love to change is being on the phone in the morning when you wake up and you pick up the phone. That's a choice. And of course, oh, okay, I might have an urgent message somebody might have been sending me, especially, with children overseas or family and friends overseas. That's fine. But then next thing you know, you're scrolling on the phone and looking at the news, one reel, two reel, an hour later, I'm jumping out of bed. Oh my God, what's happened? In this way, I must say, my husband is really, really good. Pancho jumps out of bed, he doesn't look at his phone. I often say to him, like, what about, what if there was an emergency? And he says, there won't be an emergency at first thing in the morning. So that's something.
It's called discipline, I think, as well, isn't it? But you're absolutely right. It's a small choice to make, but I think majority of us in today's world do not make that better choice of not being on the phone. So waking up and grabbing your phone or jumping out of bed and using that time, 5 minutes of meditation, it's obviously no-brainer. Meditation would be the better thing to do, right? or going for an early morning walk or using that time to read that 30-page work document that you've been putting off for a while. So
What? Hang on, stop. What kind of life are you leading? I'm kind of starting to worry about you.
We forget. We work for other people. You work for yourself.
I know, right?
Oh, that's called slavery. Working for yourself. You never get a day off. But it is
Point.
true. A small thing. What about you, Sangwoo? Do you look at the phone first thing in the morning?
I do. That is the first thing I look at and the last thing before I go to bed. But actually, you know what? I don't stay in bed. Once I wake up, I'm up and about. Still, checking on my phone or whatever, but I am up and about. I also don't drink coffee and tea in bed. So that's why I don't stay in bed. But yeah, staying on the phone, I'm guilty of that.
I totally have coffee and tea in bed if it's brought to me. Just saying.
Ah, you're such a princess. Once a princess,
God, we are
always
so
a princess.
different.
Yes,
I
we are.
own it.
There's another little thing that I want to point out that people, also deciding. That's another choice. We have a choice on how we are going to decide that our day is going to turn out. In the morning, sometimes you wake up and say, oh God, I didn't have a good sleep. Oh, it's going to be tiring. Whereas if you wake up and you say, right, oh my God, I've got this, that, and the other to look forward to. I'll jump out of bed. Who does that?
I was trying to think, when was the last time you did that?
But you know what? To that point, I feel I am more productive and also have a more constructive day if the night before I have sort of just not jotted it down, but even in my head, these are the things I need things to do. Obviously, work-wise, that's always top of mind. And then kids-wise, okay, pay the fees, of course, or fill out an application and call the dishwashing guy to fix it, just as an example. So I think that really makes the next day better, more productive. I feel that works for me.
And I think there's one thing that we have done as a family, all of us, like the three of us as a family have done, is the shared calendars. I think that works really well because we have to keep on top of
Each other's social appointments. Let's just not forget that.
So I think that's a good way to organize our day. And I know, Amita, you actually look at things the night before.
Yes, I do. In fact, I actually recently read somewhere, what have you, to have a really great sleep and to have a stress-free sleep. They say whatever you couldn't get done or whatever needs to be done the following day, put a list down, just jot it down quickly, and it gets all the stress out of your head. onto a piece of paper and you manage to sleep well.
Like a
And-
to-do list.
Yeah, exactly. And you are right, Sangu. I do live and die by my
By
to-do
your list.
list,
Yeah, I have to admit I have done the same. Pick up my phone and I look at the calendar. That's the first thing I do. So I think you do it the night before, which is a better way of doing it.
Of course, anything I do is the better way of doing it. Let's face it and
my
accept
God.
it.
And that's the bossy one tone.
Yeah.
And again, choices. I was talking about how people want to be. You can have a choice to have a positive day or a not so positive day. And I think that's something I like to work on. And even if you wake up with,
Are you actually saying people choose to have a negative day?
well, I think they do set themselves up for. I know one person, no naming no names, everything there is a negative about it. So she's going to a party and say, "Oh, you'll have fun." He says, "Oh no, I'm worried. I first have to go shopping and I have to find something. I've got nothing to wear." And I said, "Well, that's half the fun, isn't it? To try." So there are people who actually, they maybe not consciously, but just by virtue of making a choice of looking at the negative, they actually turn a positive day or positive experience into a negative one. That's what I've noticed, and trying to get away from it as much as possible.
Yeah, you have been a very positive person, not just for yourself, but for people around you.
I have to agree. I have to
Yeah.
give you that. Yeah.
I think between the three of us, Amita's the most positively geared.
Yeah.
Also the
100%.
nicest, the most modest, all of that.
Okay, now I think you're kind of pushing it.
That's it. You're going to cook for us tonight.
She's taking us out, even better.
Yes, that's right. All the cocktails, dinner, everything on you.
Yeah.
And you know what? I did read somewhere that adults make around 30 to 35,000 decisions per day. Like tiny ones, not dramatic, life-changing ones,
Yeah.
but just small, tiny decisions. So things like, am I going to have coffee or tea? Am I going to go for a walk first, or am I going to send that email first? Should I wake up now or 10 minutes later? So little bite-sized choices.
Wow. Well, well, that's a good one. If you're making 35,000, even if 50% of them are good, they say making a good choice makes you feel good, you get a dopamine hit. So can you imagine, out of that 50% of the time, if you're getting a dopamine hit, I think you're doing well.
It's true.
Okay, here's a question. How many choices do you think you've made today already?
Oh, wow. There's been a few already, I have to say. To start off with, dressing up or down for work, I chose to wear heels today because I just felt like it. Saying that, I think I'm going to invest in more sneakers, not just because I choose comfort over style, but because there are some stylish sneakers that are also comfortable. The other one was one most dreaded one, what to make for dinner tonight. Gosh.
You think ahead, I haven't even thought about lunch and you're talking about dinner already. I had to make a massive, massive decision this morning. I wasn't at work. So the choice was, should I wash my hair or not?
What did you end up doing? We can't tell the difference.
I really don't want to use bad words on the podcast, or I would have said something that starts with F.
You mean to say fudge? So I love the choice we made this morning to go for a coffee to Sydney by Kayak. It's a surprise eco hub in Blues Point Road.
Yeah.
What a great concept. I loved it.
Yeah, and it was quite good. I tucked away in a little coffee shop, and I like the concept. They don't use anything that's like anything plastic, or everything's recyclable, or you bring your own cup and everything. They had some little combs and things that were made of recycled stuff, and upcycled stuff used for their bathroom renovations as well. So I think it was pretty clever.
It turned out to be really cool, especially when we started talking to
Yes.
the lady there. And I loved the bathroom and the backyard.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah.
And I would also highly recommend the barista. So a little
Yes.
bit of a shout out to Sydney by Kayak.
Yeah.
That they're now open for very, very early morning coffees from 4:30 a.m. So if anyone wants to
Grab a
real
coffee.
early coffee, that
That would be a good choice.
Yes,
That would be a really good choice. You know what would be a really good choice? Getting up at 5 a.m. I think that was a very good choice. Thanks for that, Amita. That was yours.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I'm thanking you a
I
lot
know,
today.
I love
That
it. I
was-
love it. Come on, bring it on, girls.
We're making sure she pays the bill tonight. That's why.
But in all honesty, we make choices. As you said, coffee or no coffee, up in the morning, early or not. But sometimes the strongest choice is disappointing someone. This is a little bit heavy, but I want to touch on this. Sometimes you have to pick something that is good for you, and which might disappoint somebody and somebody you love as well. And I have a little story about that one, if you guys want to hear it, or do you know what I'm going to talk about?
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, growing up, our parents always wanted me to get into medicine. We had so many people with so many ailments. So they thought it would be great to become a doctor. And my entire life, I heard, you'll be a doctor. And I went along. I picked the right stream at school, biology and what have you. And then come the day of the exam. In India, you have to sit a pre-medical test. Come the day, and I had to go to another city to sit it. And I just went up to my dad and just very softly said to him, I don't want to become a doctor. I don't want to sit an exam.
I remember that
And
day.
you know what? I have to say, my parents would have been crushed, absolutely crushed. But to their credit, the two of them, they didn't make me feel bad. They just said, I knew you didn't want to be a doctor. That was Papa's reaction.
Got you.
And, and Mummy also so supportive. And they didn't say one bad word or one discouraging word. And they said, then what do you want to do? And I didn't really know, of course. And to my credit, I went along with Mum's choice of going to, going on to do home ec. Which is so not me. But that was a choice. It took a lot out of me to say.
Yeah, but you know what? Sliding doors, whether you chose it or not, you are half a doctor now.
You totally
Because,
are.
I mean, you're the one who has the first inkling of what's going to
Yeah,
be.
good instinct.
yeah.
Good,
Everything
my
medical.
God. And this, when in Singapore, when Papa fell ill, the neurosurgeon had no idea what was going on. And you on the phone said, have they checked for, what did you say?
Meningitis.
Meningitis. And that's exactly what it was.
I know. Well,
So
I
you
was
are
meant
a
to be.
doctor, whether you like it or not.
Well, thank you very much.
Medical
people.
degree or
Yeah.
not, you just, you're a doctor. But you know what? The big question for me, at least, has always been, how do you know you've made the right choice? And since I was little, since after you went to uni, because you always helped me make decisions, I had to go to Papa and ask, what do I do? And Papa has always taught us, remember how he says we should make a balance sheet, the pros and cons. And for every decision, every big decision in my life, I have made that pros and cons list for subject choices, for the course I wanted to do, big decisions in my life. It does help clear your thoughts. Have you guys ever done that?
Not really, but yes, I think it's a great idea, to have a little balance sheet of plus and minus.
Yeah, that is true. I personally have been quite poor in making decisions because I had two older siblings, and we've talked about it enough, I think. But just by virtue of being the youngest one, I was never the decision maker. I was the follower. However,
Sorry.
it's okay. You're not excused, but that's all right. But obviously, after all these years, I have had to make a lot of decisions, and I have. But recently, I've had to make some work-related decisions. And a friend of mine I spoke to, and she said to me, just make a list of all the positives and negatives of doing something versus not doing something. So I was making a decision, and I wasn't sure if it was the right one. She said, look, make a list. So what are the positives if you make that decision versus the negatives? And I did, and that definitely made things clear for me, and it helped me make the right choice.
Yeah, that's actually good advice, whoever's given you that.
Yeah. And it's shocking that it wasn't one of us. It wasn't. You're listening to advice from friends.
Yeah.
How dare you? So there are, people have different methods and systems how to make better choices and how to make it easier to make a choice, because we've all heard of decision fatigue. You know, if you're making 30 to 35,000 decisions every day, please, there are times when you don't want to make a decision.
Oh God, yes, so many times.
Yeah. What about Mark Zuckerberg's wardrobe? I read or saw somewhere that he's got multiples of the same outfit, so he doesn't have to bother to decide what to wear every day.
I'm sorry. That's
Oh,
not my idea of a fun life.
Gosh, that's so boring. If it were me, I'd have like a full wardrobe of bags and shoes at least, if not clothes.
Oh,
you
yes,
know?
we all know that, Imelda. But to me, it makes a bit of sense, I have to say. And
Yeah, and you are pretty much a Mark Zuckerberg there because you buy, what, 3 of the same outfit most often that you go out?
in different colors.
And they're not for us. They're all for you.
Yes.
I know.
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of puzzled why I'm not at the same level of financial success as Mark
Unless there's
Zuckerberg.
something you're hiding
hiding.
from us.
Well, I'll have to find out about that.
Yeah, but I mean, jokes apart about Mark Zuckerberg having the same outfit every day, I suppose it does help some people protect their mental bandwidth for choices that actually matter to them. So for me, clothes do matter, so I wouldn't do that. But other people, you know, like for him, if he has to make bigger choices about business decisions, sure, he can wear the same outfit every day.
Yes, and look boring. Yeah. Although I admire him for that.
And be
but,
financially successful.
yeah. I'd like a piece of that one. Yeah. So let's have a little fun moment. Why don't each of us give a situation where you've made a decision and a particular choice, and then the other two get to give a valued opinion on your choice.
Okay, should I start?
Yeah,
think
go
so.
for it.
Okay, I didn't contribute to a discussion because I didn't want to deal with the drama. So,
What do you think, Amita?
I just think that was avoiding a little bit of laziness, maybe.
I think it's boundary queen.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. Neha is.
you are absolutely right, boundary queen. Also, sometimes you don't give a shit, you know. Pretty much. So,
Yes,
Stay out of the
Yeah,
drama.
Stay out
you don't
of the
give
drama.
Yeah, most of the time you don't really give a shit, Neha.
excuse me.
So not impressed.
Do you want to have a go, Amita?
Okay, this is something that I do a lot. So I said yes to going out, even though I was exhausted, because I didn't want to disappoint anyone.
I think, knowing you, that's fear-based.
I think it's peer pressure.
Yes, I think yeah,
Bit of
probably
both?
yeah, a bit about that. I think more Neha, because you know it's hard to disappoint and constantly keep saying no to going out, especially since I'm such a homebody.
And popular.
Oh yes, that's it. Okay, Sangu, what about you?
Okay. For me, I have, you know, big choices to make. Watching a multi-season series on Netflix or a multi-season series on Prime.
Oh my
My God, you have way too much time on your hands, girl. Are you not doing enough for your sisters?
Yeah, she's
starting
being
to wonder-
lazy. Yeah, that's
I
right.
do way too much for everyone, and then when it's downtime, I have to pick series.
Oh, well, I'd call it abject laziness.
Yeah,
my
I'll
God.
second you on that
What,
one.
do I not deserve to watch some TV? Seriously?
Yes, but look
Some
at you
being the
subscribing to
keyword.
Netflix and Prime. Oh, here's another one. Okay, I'm just going to ask a quick question, and you have to respond immediately. No thinking. Okay, so live in a small town with less stress, or big city chaos with opportunity. Neha,
Big city chaos with opportunity. No brainer for me.
Sangu,
Absolutely. Big city chaos with opportunity. Any day.
same for me. So yeah, at least we're agreeing on something.
Yeah, that's why we are planning to go to New York one day, right?
Yeah, that's together.
Together,
Actually,
that's
yeah,
it.
on that point, it is a bit of a sad state of the world at the moment. Yeah. Anyway, Sangu, stable job you don't love or risky job you might?
I'm all for stability, so I would find a way to love it.
Yeah. What about you, Neha?
I was going to say stable job I love, bit similar to what you said, but yeah, it's a tough one. I do like the stability, but I also like a bit of challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one.
For me, I think it would be risky job or something, you know. Yeah. I like stability too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, anyway, having been there, done that, yeah. Sangu, I know the answer to this one. Say what you think or keep the peace.
What do you think?
I think keep the peace, yeah?
Not.
Yes.
Absolutely say what I think.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask Neha because honestly, she's done a 180-degree turn.
I know I was going to say I used to keep the peace, but now I say what I think.
Exactly. Far too much, actually. Far too much.
What about you, Mitha?
Definitely keep the peace, I think.
Oh,
Do you not agree
I
with
don't
that?
think she says, yeah, she's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
She does
Having
keep
you
the
on. Yeah,
peace.
you're right.
But I don't like that. I think you should speak up.
Yeah.
If you don't like, if I've offered you a chocolate and you don't want it, you should just say it rather than have it.
Yeah, that one.
don't feel forced to have it, okay?
You're definitely mistaking me for someone who cares what you think. But anyway, on your day off, stay in bed with coffee, tea, and read, or get out of bed, exercise, get active with pending
Are you,
chores.
are you even asking that question? Are you for real?
What kind of question is that anyway?
I know it's a terrible question to end at as well.
Yeah, you didn't.
I wouldn't do either because I wouldn't stay in bed with coffee or tea. I would be up and about and not do anything.
Yeah.
And I would still have the coffee, but not in bed. How about you?
I'd have a coffee in bed, like I said. Someone else is bringing it to me, and then see how I'm feeling that day on my day off, where I actually don't have to make decisions for anybody else. It's a day for me and only myself.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I'm with you on that one, Neha. Coffee, tea for me
bed?
in bed with a book. Oh my God, heaven.
Yes.
My multi-series will be waiting for me. So.
Of course, on Netflix and Prime. Yes. It's been a great chat about choices today. I've enjoyed that. What's your one-line takeaway from today's chat, Sangu?
If you ask me, like I said, you always have a choice. Although I have to say sometimes you just might don't like the cost that it comes with.
That's true. And if you don't choose your direction, someone else is going to. So you might as well make that effort.
True, life isn't built by one big choice. It's small, consistent decisions. To our listeners, tell us what's one choice you're avoiding right now.
DM your stories, share and like on Instagram, follow us on Spotify and YouTube.
Same channel.
Same sisters.
Same chaos.
See you next week.